All right, welcome to lab session 6. So for this one, we're going over this image packet right here, which goes over the hip and upper thigh, along with lower leg later on. Okay, so starting on page 1, this picture right here. What you're looking at is this model that I have here. So this one is some of the muscles of the hip. Our first one up here is the quadratus lumborum. It's a back muscle, goes from, see here, I think L1 down to the iliac crest. That is the quadratus lumborum. You can see it there. In real life, it would connect into the vertebrae a little better. Our next one is this one over here. This is the psoas major. It also goes from our lumbar down into the hips and then connects down at the femur. In fact, you see it's cut off a little bit in the model, but that's the psoas major. Here's what it look like from behind. And then our third one here is I believe it's shown in this picture. Yeah, it is. The iliacus. So the iliacus fills up this iliac crest. You can see it here. Just lies right within the iliac crest and then goes down to the femur. Moving on. So I will now go to the picture that is just right of that one, where we have a nice leg model. Okay. This might be a little clunky, so I apologize if I'm moving slowly or awkwardly here with the lower leg. As you can tell, it's not life-size, but it's getting there. First up is the sartorius. So, like I talked about in my lecture, and I'm sure the others did, it's the longest muscle of the body, long, skinny, cutting from the lateral side down to the medial side. So here, if I remove it, you can see that's the shape of it. Long, skinny, kind of curving. And it goes across there. Attaches down, medial from lateral. Our next one is the rectus femoris. This is a quad muscle. It's our main quad muscle right here up front. You can see it with this gray line. It's also another piece that's removable. So this right here makes up your rectus femoris, and then that's how it looks within everything else. Next one's the vastus lateralis. As the name implies, it is on the lateral side. So if we go from the pinky toe up, it is lateral. So vastus lateralis, you can see it right next to your IT bands. So there's your vastus lateralis. Then if we go to the opposite side, we have the medial side, so the vastus medialis. That is it for that picture, so now I'm going to go to the medial view of the upper thigh. So I'll go medial, again, big toe side. First thing we see here is the gracilis, which goes straight down that medial side. It's also kind of skinny. For whatever reason, I've had a lot of students in the past mixed up with the sartorius. But this is the sartorius, which goes diagonal. The one that goes straight up and down is the gracilis. Behind the gracilis, you're going to see the adductor magnus. Adductor magnus is right here, goes up this space. And it's much larger than it shows. In fact, it would probably go down to here. Yeah, in fact, I think this might be part of it. So it goes from here to here. But that is the adductor magnus. On the opposite side, we have right here, this is the adductor longus. So then if we then switch to that anterior view of the upper thigh again, they again point out this is the adductor longus, just in case you're seeing it from this angle. But again, here's how it all looks. And then it also has the rectus femoris dissected away to show the underneath. And the section underneath here is the vastus intermedius. It's our fourth quadricep muscle. Again, to see that one, this would have to be removed. Okay. Page 1 is complete. Let's go to page 2, which looks like this. Starts out up top. It says the upper thigh. I'm going to go with medial view, sartorius removed. So, sartorius removed. Which one's the sartorius? You got it picked out? All right, let's remove the sartorius. It's going to show here the adductor magnus. So like I said, adductor magnus goes from here and then connects down here. So we can see the adductor magnus quite well now. So either one would be the adductor magnus. Don't be confused because you only know this as the adductor magnus when this is also part of it. So again, it goes through here, gets buried underneath the gracilis and other muscles, and then pops out and is visible again there. We also have the iliopsoas, which is up here. That's the same muscle as same muscle group as the psoas major right here, so you can see where it's going to come down and then connect through here. Okay, now we're going to go to the lateral view of the upper thigh. I'm going to put this back in for you. Give me just a second here. Okay, lateral view. The only one it wants to show you is the tensor fascia latae, which is right across here. Tensor fascia latae does exactly what it says. It tenses the fascia on the lateral side. So that's the IT band right here. So connected at the top of the IT band is the tensor fascia latae, which is why if you've ever had an athletic trainer tell you to roll out the IT band, they've probably told you to do it. Put a lot of effort into the top area along with the bottom, but the top because they want you to target that muscle. Okay, going to upper thigh posterior view. So we're looking at it sort of like this in that picture. We have the gluteus maximus. This is the butt muscle. You can see it's quite large and it's superficial, so it can be removed. But that is the gluteus maximus. Beneath it, it points out some of our hamstring muscles. I'll put this back in for now so that you can see those like it shows it. But our first one here is the biceps femoris. This is the biceps femoris. You can see it. It's on the lateral side like the IT band. But that is the biceps femoris. Now, I'm going to put this closer for the next two because we had the semitendinosus and the semimembranosus. We talked about this in lecture, how these two get mixed up a lot, and the differences between the two. This right here is the semitendinosus. It is on top. It is superficial. Underneath it, peeking out the sides, only because it's wider, is the semimembranosus. So I'll let you look at these real quick. But again, both muscles kind of stacked on top of each other, as you see. Membranosus, tendinosus. And the only way you see them is because that membranosus peeks out sides of the tendinosus. One of the main things that people get confused in this area. So make sure you know that. Look over that part of the video. Understand which one's deep and which one's superficial. Okay, next up, we've got, if we take the gluteus maximus off, we have the upper thigh posterior view. It says gluteus maximus, hamstrings removed. So we'd have this removed also, but this is the piece that it's pointed out. Right where this pinhole is, we have the gluteus medius. And underneath that one would be the gluteus minimus, but we can't see it. Okay. The second page we are now done with. Let's go to, I'm going to do the lower leg right here, which is page 3. It has 3 pictures on it. So first one is posterior view, part of the gastroc removed. So here's what it looks like naturally. We have our gastroc muscles here. These another thing people get confused is just because this piece is removable, they think this is the soleus and this is the gastroc, or this is the gastroc and this is the soleus. No, both of these are the gastroc. Now we're going to dissect half of the gastroc and show the muscle that's lying flat underneath, which is the soleus. This is the soleus, this is the gastroc, this is also the gastroc. Okay, moving to lateral view. Again, down from that IT band, we trace it down to the knee. We have this piece that is removable. The piece that is removable here, this is the extensor digitorum longus. Because it's an extensor, it is on the front side of the leg. If we follow down, it goes down to the digits. You can see how it splits into a bunch of different tendons here. So those go to the toes or the digits. So extensor digitorum longus. Now if we go just back from that, we have the peroneus longus, which is right here. You can see it go to the pinky toe. That's the peroneus longus. And then we have the peroneus brevis, which if we go, you're going to see a little number down there. Now it's hard to see in the video, but this kind of drops off slightly. And this section right here is the peroneus brevis. I think the clearest way to see it is you'll see the fibers are kind of going diagonal like this down it. That's the peroneus brevis, whereas where they're going like this is the peroneus longus. But longus is the big long one, and then the one that just takes up this brief little space down here is the peroneus brevis. Okay, going to the view that's sort of like this. We have the extensor digitorum longus is pointed out again. Again, as a reminder, that is this one. Then we have next to it, right off of the tibia, is the tibialis anterior. It's the front side, so anterior, and it's right next to the tibia bone, this tan piece. So this is the tibialis anterior. Now if we go right to the very bottom of this one, we have this piece right here. That is the hallucis longus, the extensor hallucis longus. It's a deeper muscle, so it's kind of buried underneath the others. Okay, that's enough for page 3. So now we are flipping to page 4. You'll see like those at the bottom, but we'll start at the top. So first one, posterior view, gastroc and soleus removed. So we've already removed part of the gastroc, so let's go ahead and move the whole section here. So we're deep, we're underneath other things. Hard to visualize in the image pack alone, but now you see we're only part of our lower leg. So first one I want to point out is the popliteus. So this is the popliteus right here. Little short guy, just goes from the back of the knee, which is the popliteal space. I don't know if you've talked about that in lecture, but different areas of your body have names. The popliteus space is the back of the knee. So the popliteal muscle just goes through that back of the knee, that soft spot kind of where your knee folds in. So next up we have the flexor digitorum longus. So that's directly beneath the popliteus. That's right here. We also have the flexor hallucis longus, which is right there. You see, again, this is another one. So you have this gray line on the medial side of the gray line. It's the flexor hallucis longus. Flexor because it's in the back. Hallucis because it goes to the hallux, or the big toe. Again, the names can give you hints. Hallucis is always going to be on the big toe side. Flexors are always going to be on the posterior of the leg. Yeah, so then the next picture shows everything with this back on. So then it's going to show you from this side, actually. Big toe side, tibia side. You see the popliteus peeking out right there. And then also down here, you'll see the flexor digitorum longus. Okay, so that's it for the leg. We're going to go ahead and take a quick field trip across the room to visit our half people. By that I mean they're missing the arms and legs. Okay, so here they are. First one is going to be this one. So if we look at your image, you're looking kind of at the cheek right here. So down from the cheek, you're going to have, first off, the masseter. So the masseter is what you chew with. It's like that, the jaw muscle. So if you bite down real hard, you feel flex. We also have the sternocleidomastoid, which cuts down through here. Give you a close up. Sternocleidomastoid through there. Masseter right here. Our next one, going to the front, we have the rectus abdominis. These are the ab muscles. That's what you see your movie stars have their abs. So there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your 8-pack abs. On the side here, we have the rectus, the external obliques. So these are your obliques that run down the side. So again, there's your obliques. All right, so that's the image packets covered in video form. As always, ask us any questions you have. Thanks.